Welcome to Fables Adventures, your podcast of daily stories. Today's story comes to us from the community feed, from one of our creators who goes by the name of Harlow's. It's a pretty intense one, this, and it's called The Shadow Walker's Bargain. It is a claustrophobic, emotionally devastating noir sci-fi thriller told entirely in second person, placing you in a concrete room with no past, a mission with no clear purpose, and one person whose exhaustion feels more real than anything else in your fractured existence, even though trusting them might be exactly what they want. Hit like, subscribe to our channel, or comment as to what you're enjoying about our stories here. For now, enjoy The Shadow Walker's Bargain.
The weight of mirrors. You wake in a room that isn't a room. It's a suggestion of one: concrete walls, the color of old teeth, and a single mirror mounted where your conscience used to be. The glass is imperfect, bubbles trapped in its silver backing like tiny drowning things. When you look into it, you see yourself 5 seconds ago, mouth still forming words you haven't spoken yet, always just out of sync, always watching. This is how they keep you compliant. Not with locks, with timing. The cigarette you don't remember lighting sits between your fingers, ash accumulating like snow on a corpse. Smoke curls up and catches the fluorescent tubes overhead, those cheap hummers that sound like insects dying in slow motion. You've been in rooms like this before. You remember that much. Not where or when, but your body remembers. Your hands remember. The way your shoulders curl inward as if bracing for a blow that's already landed. Morgan. Her voice before you see her. That's deliberate. They want you off balance. She steps through the door and you don't recognize her face, but something in your chest recognizes her. A tugging. A tether you didn't know was attached. Dark hair. Or it was before someone cut it short with something dull. Bruises blooming under her left eye, purple into yellow into green, a timeline of pain written on skin. Her hands are shaking, or maybe that's just the fluorescent flicker making everything seem unstable. You don't know me, she says. Not a question, a statement, clinical, like she's read your file. But I know you. I've always known you, Morgan. Even when you forgot. You take a drag. The smoke tastes like old pennies and regret. They always say that. Who's they? She moves closer and you don't stop her. This is the trap, isn't it? The moment where you're supposed to feel something. Kinship, obligation, love. The moment where you're supposed to care enough to do the thing they want. You've read the manual on coercion. You've written parts of it in another life, one you can't quite grip. The people who took me, or the people who own you? There it is. The accusation dressed up as intimacy. You turn away from the mirror, can't stand watching yourself not quite react, and face her properly. She's thin, not starved thin, but the kind of thin that comes from stress, from days where eating feels like collaboration with the enemy. There's a scar on her neck, old, faded to the color of dishwater. You want to ask about it. You want to ask about everything. Instead you say, "What's your name?" Senna. She waits, as if the name should trigger something. It doesn't. We were close. Once. Before the eclipse machine. Before they burned the records. Before they made you into whatever you are now. Whatever you are now. A shadow walker, a ghost that walks on 2 legs, someone who can dissolve into darkness so completely that even cameras lose you, light bending around your edges like water round a stone. You don't know how it works. You've never wanted to know. Knowledge is liability. Knowledge is the thing that gets you killed. But they, and you still don't know who they are, not really. They know exactly what you can do, and they want you to do it. The eclipse machine, you say, tasting the words like something spoiled. The core. Yes, Senna sits on the edge of the concrete slab that serves as a bed. Her hands have stopped shaking, or maybe you've just stopped noticing. They want you to get inside, into the heart of it. There's something there, a fail-safe, maybe, or evidence, something that proves the whole thing is failing, that the permanent night isn't permanent at all, that someone's been choosing to keep it dark. You've heard the conspiracy theories before. Everyone in Nocturne City has. The ones whispered in bars that smell like spilled gin and broken promises, in the shadowed corners where the fixers and dealers congregate. The eclipse machine was meant to stabilize the planet's rotation. Instead, it froze us in half-light, caught in the grip of a twilight that never ends. Someone profits from that. Someone always profits. Why would they tell you this, you ask? If they're using you as leverage, they wouldn't. Because I'm already dead. She looks at you with eyes that have seen something unspeakable. They told me that at least. Told me they'd kill me the moment you succeed or fail. Doesn't matter which, so I might as well tell you the truth. I might as well give you something real to work with, instead of the lies they planted. At least then, when you're down there in the dark, moving through places that weren't meant for living things, you'll know one true thing about why you're doing it. The cigarette has burned down to nothing. You flick it away, and it tumbles through the air like something with broken wings. How do I know you're not them? How do I know this isn't the test? Feed me some story about salvation. See if I bite. See if my loyalty goes to the highest bidder. You don't. Senna's voice is soft now, almost tender. That's the beauty of it, Morgan. You don't know. You can't know. That's the whole game, isn't it? That's why they chose you. Not because of the shadow thing, though that helps, but because you've got nothing to trust. No memories to anchor you. No history to tell you who you were or what you believed in. You're pure pragmatism wrapped in a human shape, and pragmatism is useful when everyone's lying. She reaches out. Her hand hovers near your arm, not quite touching. But I'm not lying. I don't have the energy. I'm too tired to lie. And that's the thing that breaks you open, isn't it? Not her story. Not the promise of truth, or the threat of the machine, or the invisible war being waged in the spaces between spaces. It's the exhaustion in her voice, the recognition of something you know in your bones, that bone-deep weariness that comes from being played, from being used, from waking up in rooms that aren't rooms and seeing yourself 5 seconds in the past, always just out of reach. You take her hand. It's cold. Tacky with residue, old sweat, older fear, the particular grime that accumulates on skin when you've been captive. You pull her close, and she doesn't resist. She smells like concrete and something floral. Cheap soap, maybe, the kind they give you in places like this, the kind designed to strip you clean, to make you generic, replaceable. When do I go in, you ask? Tonight. There's a maintenance tunnel in the undercroft. The eclipse machine has a rhythm, a pulse. Every 6 hours, the eastern quadrant goes into diagnostic mode. That's when the security's thinnest. You'll have maybe 20 minutes. And you? She pulls away, but gently. I'll be here, or I won't. Doesn't really matter, does it? You look back at the mirror. There's your reflection, 5 seconds ago. Mouth just closing on words you've already said. You're not smiling. You're not frowning. You're just there, caught between moments, suspended in the gap between what was and what's coming. Always just out of sync. Always just out of reach. You pick up the cigarette that's still burning on the concrete. the one that exists only in the mirror's delayed vision, and you press it to your lips. The smoke tastes like shadow, like home. Okay, you whisper, I'll do it. And in the mirror, you watch yourself already nod, 5 seconds before you move, 5 seconds before you commit, 5 seconds before the point of no return, though you cross that threshold the moment you let her take your hand, the moment you decided that one true thing, one moment of genuine connection, was worth more than all the safe distances you've carefully maintained. This is how they win, not with force, with tenderness. The fluorescent lights hum their dying insect song, and you can't tell if you're walking into salvation or the most beautiful trap ever laid. But Senna's hand is still in yours, and for once, for this moment at least, you let yourself believe in something, even if it kills you, especially if it kills you.
Thanks for listening to our story today. Our stories at Fables Adventures are created using the Fables Adventures app for iOS, available for both the iPhone and the iPad. And if you have enjoyed the story that you have just heard and want to create stories like this of your own, head over to the Apple App Store and download the app for yourself. There is a link in the description. You can also read the full text of the story that you have just heard at the link in the description of this story as well. Hit like, subscribe to our channel, and please leave us a comment about what you enjoyed about today's story. It really helps. We're trying to do something here at Fables Adventures to support people living with ALS or motor neuron disease, simply by creating content like this for you all to enjoy. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you tomorrow.